Okay, for the second time in a month, I have managed to get decent punk records. I don't get punk records like I used to. I always talk about how back in the day, in the late 90s and into the early 2000s, you could still get collections with really good stuff in it, but that is pretty much dried up. Or so I thought. If you want to go back, I'll put the links to the last video where I got Black Flag, Dead Kennedys, Pistols, and a bunch of metal stuff like Maiden and things like that. You can look at that video. I'll put that link in there. But this week again, technically, that was actually at a garage sale. This was a bit clickbaity of me, but I don't... it's a pre-garage sale. Because the person called me up, they knew of the store, obviously, or somebody gave them the number, and said, "Do you buy records?" And I said, "Yes." And they said, "Well, we're going to be having a garage sale soon, and we've just got the stuff here." They, I think, have to move, so they don't want to carry a lot of stuff, and they're trying to get rid of as much as possible. And he said, "We have records and other stuff. Do you want to come by and have a look?" And I said, "Sure." And I wasn't really expecting much. They did mention they had like a Ramones record, so I was like, well, whatever. And I headed down there, and yeah, when I got there, it was like, I couldn't believe it that it was happening again. So you guys can have a look. I'll just skip to that right away, and you can see it's not as many records as last time. Plus there was like this stuff I don't normally buy, like things like 8-tracks, but they were sealed, and there were like a whole box full of them, and there was like Runaways, sealed Runaways 8-tracks. I mean, you gotta buy that when you see it. So let's go look at that stuff now. And there you go. This is everything I got. I'll show you the 8-tracks in a second. They're in a box on the floor. I'll bring those up. But yeah, this is the second time in a month that I have picked up record collections with Black Flag and Dead Kennedys in it. And I can tell you that is not normal. I mean, back in the day, like in the late 90s and early 2000s, yeah, I used to get, you know, really good punk stuff and hardcore stuff, you know, on a fairly regular basis. But no, that doesn't happen. But now, yeah, this is 2 weeks on, second time in a month. So pretty stoked. And actually, a lot of these are going to end up in my personal collection. There are... I'm sure I explained in the preamble that this was technically not a garage sale. So a bit of clickbait there, but you know. It was going to be in a garage sale coming up, and the person called the store and said, "Hey, do you want to come look at this stuff before we put it out?" Because they were just looking to get rid of as much stuff as possible. I think they have a move coming up. And I said, sure, and I wasn't expecting anything, and then you can imagine I'm going through the stuff, and there's, hey, second pressing of Damaged. But we'll get into it, and I'll show you all the stuff. There are price stickers on here that they were going to put out at the garage sale. Some of the punk stuff he knew was worth more, but he didn't know what to put on it, so he didn't put a price tag. Some of them still have the old price tag they used to pay for. Anyways, we'll get through it, but we'll start off here. Here we go. This is, you know, basically the money shot. It's a copy of Black Flag's Damaged. Even here it says 81 second issue, $7.50. I'll show you the label so you can see. It's, oh no, I won't be able to do that because it's one hand. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, yeah, it is in really good shape. Like the covers aren't in the best of shape on this one, although some are great, but some of these aren't. And you've got a name written on a few of them, which I have ways of trying to get that off. We're gonna see, but since it's going in my personal collection anyways for this one, I don't care. But yeah, so there it is. I got 2 copies of this in the other collection last couple of weeks back, but you can see the price tag on it. Can't pass that up. Grateful Dead, Talking Heads, ZZ Top. This is great. I love the Cowboy Junkies. I've seen them a couple of times live. And I actually, this is one of the few records of theirs that I actually didn't have, so I was pretty happy that's going into mine. Original copy of Faith No More. Tom Waits' Small Change, cars, and this is sort of the bread and butter back here type stuff. A lot of this is just going straight out into the store. You can see that's actually pretty cool. I've had that in before. Performed by Soul Man and the Brothers, Billy Idol, Bay City Rollers, Supertramp, Peter Gabriel. So that you don't see too often. Johnny Clegg and Savuka. Pretty good, eh? Squires, Toto. Now, why did I take all of this stuff, even though I have like a fair amount of these? Like, I have multiple pressings of most of this stuff in the overstock section, because at the end of it, I picked out all the stuff that I wanted, and I was pulling stuff out, and we sort of started adding it up. And he just in the end said, hey, if you want to take everything, you can have it. And I was like, well, you know, I don't really want to take all this stuff. And he's like, and he sort of shot a number out, and that's what I went with. And you can see like things like this. Just, you know, I think, what's that? Yeah, Edgar Allan Poe. That's sort of Alan Parsons Project. So that's, yeah. We'll go over to this other pile. And yeah, again, this is the Canadian pressing on Fringe. $5 price tag on it. It has the little mini magazine in there, which I probably can't show most of the stuff on the inside, but it also had the original Flexi that came with it, which I have never had a chance to buy before. So I'm super excited by that. I already have a copy of that record, but it didn't have the Flexi or the inner paper there. So Pistols, this is kind of interesting because it's an audiophile pressing of the Supertramp. Ramones, Sinead O'Connor, Otis Redding, The Box, Lenny Kravitz, Let Love Rule. Well, I'm having trouble today. I am like slightly meted up because I had like a cold all week, and I'm just still like on medication trying to like get through my day. The Best of Otis Redding, Lou Reed's The Best Buy series, ZZ Top, General Public. This is kind of cool. Jimmy Reed, John Lee Hooker, a bunch of other Memphis Slims on there. Some others that I haven't heard of. Bird Legs. I want to check that out. The Ramones. Another Ramones. Right, said Fred, I'm too sexy. Might keep that myself. Eddie Money. Don Headley. Oh, somebody asked me for Don Headley today. The Time. John Cougar. Again, this is bread and butter stuff. It's stuff that always sells on a fairly regular basis. Doesn't fly out the door or anything, but people are usually coming in and asking for it. That's like the third copy of that. Monk's Bad Habits, Pat Benatar. That is such a good record. Marianne Faithfull. It's like, yeah, I mean, it has this sort of like broken quality to it that is just, you know, it's great. Psych Furs. And yeah, so that's it. So yeah. Not as many records as the last time, if you want to go back and look at that video, because it is pretty rad. And but still, like, when do you get a chance like to get this stuff? Like, it just doesn't happen. Like, any one of these records shows up at a garage sale, and you've had the best probably garage sale of your summer. So yeah, I feel pretty lucky to have been able to get in there and get them, because you know what, it was out of town, and I don't think I would have made it to the garage sale on time. So pretty glad that that's the sort of, I know there's going to be a lot of people hating on this, but it's the benefits of having a store. Sometimes people just call you up because it's easier than doing a garage sale. So here is the other thing, which I just was like, I'm going to take a flyer on it. I don't normally get 8-tracks. I will pick up like classic rock stuff because, you know, somebody who's got like, loves a certain for just an example, like say the first Zeppelin record, they will have it on CD. They will have it on like an original pressing. They'll have a repress. They will have like a record store day repress. They will have the cassette of it, and they'll want to get an 8-track of it. So yeah, you know, like when I see that stuff, I pick it up. I also pick up interesting 8-tracks for like weird bands that I like. But generally, you know, I just largely ignore them. What happens here is these are mostly sealed. Like there's 66, I think, that are sealed. Now, the thing that I have learned over the years is that when things are cheap enough and you don't know a lot about them, just buy them, because it's basically the cost of the education. And I have learned so much about 8-tracks. I will give you guys some heads up, save you the research. Opened Sex Pistols, Nevermind the Bollocks, sold for over $175 in an auction on eBay. Yeah, I know. And I thought basically the 8-track was done by the early 80s. And there was 2 Madonna records, on 8-track, that again, in auction, they were sealed, but they were still selling over 125 each. I didn't see the end of the auction, but they were still going. So any of the stuff that I think is probably from bigger pop stars at the end of that, probably in the similar way that in the 90s, they were phasing out, like in the late 80s and early 90s, they were phasing out vinyl. They probably did the same thing with those cassettes and those, 8-tracks, and those 8-tracks are probably pretty hard to find, and for an 8-track collector, that's probably your holy grail. There are some interesting things in here. For me, a Runaways 8-track, and it's sealed, and there was a couple of open ones. Now, I didn't check sell-through, but there were a couple of open ones that are over $50 a piece, and there are 2 of them in there. So, pretty happy with that. Here's another one, Hammersmith. Go through them real quick. UFO. I know, UFO. And here's things like Montrose. I can just sort of scan through them. There's some stuff that's just probably good. Like there's a Deep Purple, and they've got the original like slip covers to them, which is kind of cool because you don't often see that. There's some stuff like this Gary Wright record, 8-track, which will just go. But like, you know, America, somebody might want that. I don't know. Miles and Lenny. These aren't the best because these are the open things. But like, you know, there's like an open Van Morrison right there. I actually don't have a copy of that on vinyl. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe keep it. But here's some stuff. I think I've got these put in backwards. But like Eric Carmen, Bebop Deluxe. A sealed Gary Glitter called Touch Me. That's unfortunate. Not, yeah. Not going to make the pedo joke. Rory Gallagher. You know, there's some really more interesting stuff that leans along sort of like Ambrosia and another Rory Gallagher, which, you know, Elvin Bishop. There's a Roberta Flack, Jackson 5, that's open. But all of these ones here are all sealed down there. And there's like Giles and Spooky Tooth. And I don't know, like the Michael Zager band, and like just some stuff you don't usually see, like Heaps Firefly. And again, sealed, but you don't usually see a lot of this stuff in terms when it comes to like 8-tracks. Usually it's a lot of country, or at least that's what I come from. The Isley Brothers are in there too. And I haven't really, you know, I don't know what the value is on these. But again, he was like, if you want the whole box, and gave me a crazy good price. Like, I gave more than that for it, because I said, oh, it's got to be worth more than that. But you just sort of look like Straubs, Foghat. It's just, you know, John Anderson, Solo Records, Donovan, and they're all sealed. I don't know what the value is. Like, I have gone through And I've seen the Runaways ones, so I figure, you know what, the Runaways was worth it just for that alone. But I haven't gone through all the other ones individually. But they've got to be worth the better ones, like 10, 15. I'll look them up, but 10, 15 bucks a piece, I would imagine. Probably I could sell them on eBay. Because, I don't know, there's things like Justin Hayward records and, like, you know, there's a Leaf Garrett, which is not, you know, probably something that'll probably end up getting donated. I don't know. But yeah, so that was it. So basically, the deal was, he just said, I don't know, 200 bucks for everything if you take it all, but you got to take it all. And I was like, okay. Because I mean, I was like super happy with, you know, just the prices that were on there. I haven't counted how many records are there exactly. I don't know. I think it's like over 50. So yeah, it's, for me, that was kind of a no-brainer. So pretty pleased with that. Yeah, so that's it. That's, as I said, the second week on the second time in a month that I've gotten some decent punk titles and like good stuff. Again, a number of these are going to end up in my collection. And again, I will caveat this, for those who know the store, this stuff won't be coming out in the store. I can tell you, like, the Kennedy's record, the Black Flag record, definitely not going out in the store. Some of the other things probably will eventually make their way, but I'm like 2 full record collections behind that I'm trying to play catch up on right now. So if you're watching this, don't expect it to come out in the store right away. As I said, I do post on the store Instagram page and Facebook page a flip video each week, the new records that come in. I will put the links to both of those in the description here somewhere. And you can join up both those pages, and then you can, I think you can sign up to get alerts for when I pop those videos up, and then you can just message me. I do not ship. I apologize. I know how frustrating that can be because I watch lots of record store video things and they don't ship either. It's just too much of a, it's just too much of a risk, too much of a hassle. I am located in Canada, and just shipping across the border is just it's not fun. So, yeah, it's just in-store sales only. But yeah, garage sale season is winding down here. So this was probably not the last weekend, but probably the last weekend where there's going to be multiples. So, yeah, we're going to have to figure out what to do after that. All right. Hope you guys are able to find some stuff. If you want to leave some comments, that's cool. I love seeing them, even the ones that are not particularly nice. Those are actually my favorite. I'm not going to lie. I love when people get a little ornery with me. So yeah, I'm going to stop blabbering and say bye.